Hello, for the 8th week in the year, March 1-2, chosen to use Matthew 6, 24 to 34. It's all about Mammon. Because Jesus in the Gospel says, look, you cannot serve God and Mammon. Never did like that word Mammon. I think because I maybe did not understand it properly. And so I looked it up. Mammon had two definitions, one a biblical definition and the other a secular definition. The biblical definition is worldly gain as personified as a false god. So worldly gain you make into a god. And then the second definition is material wealth regarded as evil. Sort of like, I guess, drug money. Your whole life is around drugs and making money illegally through drugs. I think that's what Mammon is, what Christ said. When I was a teenager, and a little bit earlier than that, we got our first TV. We used to go to neighbor's house to watch the TV, but we got our first TV and we began, the kids, 5 kids, began watching a lot. Like today, I guess. And my father, whenever he was in a bad mood or he wanted us to do something, he would sort of yell at us and say, you kids, you're making a god out of that TV. We probably were, in our own way. But I remember one night when I was getting ready to go to a dance or the movies or something, and my father got to like the TV too. And he would sit down and watch these westerns like Bonanza and the Cartwrights. And getting ready to go out, I saw my father plunk there on the couch, and I said, Dad, you're making a god out of that TV. And then left. I always was a stinker. Jesus knows that we cannot serve two gods, only the true God. And then he goes on and he says, well, this true God is, the guts of it has to do with the kingdom of God. You need to serve the kingdom of God. It's already begun and it will be fulfilled at the end of the world. And in dealing with the kingdom of God, you deal with righteousness and morality and goodness, and not this evil stuff or false gods. And then he goes on, he sort of explains it a little bit. He says you shouldn't be just worrying about eating and drinking and your body and your clothes or the latest fashion. No, and there's more important things than that, even though they're important. And then he says, look at the birds of the air. They don't do that. The birds don't grow and sow. They don't worry. They don't store up and hoard. When was the last time you saw an anxious bird? Jesus says, look at the birds. They're just concerned about living life. 2 weeks ago in my backyard, I saw a beautiful blue jay basking in the sun on a frozen bird bath. I mean, the color and the detail and the sparkle in the sun is amazing. I know blue jays are mean birds and all that, but they're beautiful. The birds, whether you're talking about blue jays, cardinals, peacocks, or parrots, they're gorgeous. And Jesus says, look at them. Solomon, in all his glory, was not dressed as well as a sparkling blue jay in the sun. And so I guess Jesus is saying, look, you can make other things God instead of God. And if you do make the other things God instead of God, you're not serving the one true God. I guess he's saying, trust in God. Live for the kingdom of God. I believe he's saying, Jesus is saying, trust in me. And so I guess it's good to take stock and periodically ask ourselves, am I just worried about sowing and growing? Worrying? Am I anxious? Or am I trusting in God and trusting in Jesus and working in goodness and for justice? That's the message of the true God. And Jesus said, look, you really cannot serve God and Mammon. I think I really misunderstood that word, Mammon. How about you? Have a good day.